Good morning, everybody. Cindy Ashton here, CEO of Minerva Enterprises. So I'm working with a client the other day on her speech, and I'm like, wow, this content is da bomb diggity. The audience is going to love it, but your organizer, the person who's hired you, is going to hate it. And she's like, what? And I said, when you're writing a speech, you have to think about developing your content from the perspective of the client that hired you and the actual audience members. You have to marry both those objectives. And let me give you an example. A few years ago, I was giving a talk, and the person who had hired me, the meeting planner in this case, was the manager of a department. And she said, you know, Cindy, I really need you to help these employees to be friendlier and communicate better. Since I teach presentation skills, communicate better with clients. And I said, great. So that was her objective. But then when I did my pre-survey and got to know the audience members, what they said to me was, well, Cindy, we really need communication help with how to deal with our boss because she's a bully. Which is why we're not producing well, and which is why we're not communicating well with our clients, is because we're so stressed out. How the heck do you develop a speech that marries both of those, right? So that's an example of you are being hired as a speaker to deliver a talk. And meanwhile, the organizer, the meeting planner, the manager, whoever hired you has a set of objectives. And then on the other side, you've got the audience members, and they have a set of needs and objectives. And so going back to my client, going back to my example, this is what the problem is with most speakers and why a lot of speakers are not making money. Because a lot of speakers are not going deeper. A lot of speakers go to speaking coaches, and they're like, and the speaking coach says, hey, what topic do you want to speak on? And they might say, wellness, great. What are the 5 points? What are the 3 points you want to talk on? Great, let's put them in this order. And so you've got all this content, but the content is not sellable, and this is why these speakers are not getting to the next level and getting paid. The key is that you absolutely have to have content that, first of all, is not generic. And most speakers out there are delivering very generic content that just about anybody can deliver. They're giving messages that are very generic, that doesn't have a strong point of view and doesn't really land. And on the deeper level, which is what we just talked about, is content needs to be shaped to meet the objectives of both the audience needs and the organizational needs. And that's a really tricky piece. And when you look at people who are really making great money as speakers, or people who are the greatest influencers, they go beyond just saying, oh, I'm going to speak on wellness and here's all my talking points. They go way beyond that. They're like, who is that specific target market? What are they thinking in their head that they really need? What's the psychology? What's the real world issues they're going through? And then they look at the organization. And they say, what's the organization going through? What's their objectives? What do they want the audience to get? And then they think about, well, what's my point of view? If I'm delivering a content on wellness, how does my point of view differentiate from all the other speakers? And how is it deeper and richer? And how can it serve both the organizational needs and the speaker's needs? This is very complicated, folks. It really is. But that is another reason why a lot of speakers are broke, is because they don't go deep enough, and they're working with speaker coaches who do a good job of getting them out there and getting them speaking. But if you want to change a game and you want to go beyond being broke or just doing okay as a speaker, you have to be able to do this deeper work. And that's where the people are making the money as speakers, is doing this deeper work. So here's my invitation for you. If you are done with just sitting around and not getting your message out, and you know you want to get deeper and you want to play the big leagues, Minerva Enterprises, my company, we specialize in presentation skills to propel business growth. This is what we do. We really look at what's the end game of what you desire, and we build an entire strategy. It's not just let's pull out content and hope it sticks. We actually help you to make money from your content and make money at your speaking. Interested? Make sure you reach us at minerva.ceo. Thanks so much and have a great day, everyone.